Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I am here with tea and a book. All right, I don't remember which one of these I did last time, but I never do. So let's just do The Killing Moon first. So The Killing Moon is, if not the first N.K. Jemisin book, it might be the first book that she wrote, but it might not be, but I think it is. So I read this book as part of a buddy read with Y_read on Instagram. So her name is Kat, and she asked who was in for a buddy read of the duology. So there's The Killing Moon and then The Shadowed Sun. So for this month we did The Killing Moon, and it is a fantasy set in ancient Egypt. And there is a land called Gujarat where there's a religion that helps to maintain the peace in this city. They worship the goddess of peace, and part of how they maintain peace is that when someone is determined to be corrupt or evil or working against peace, they are gathered. So there's this group of people, I believe they're all men, and they are called gatherers, and they will they put people to sleep and help them into the afterlife. And the energy that comes from the dreams that they have is collected and contributed to another group of people called the sharers, who use that energy to help heal pain and suffering for everybody in the city. It's a fantasy, and we kind of know, based on the book and what the book is, that something's a little rotten in Gujarat. So the gatherers are learning that maybe some of the things that they're being asked to do are not for noble cause and purpose. And there's some disillusionment about their utopia, which is pretty much how utopias are, right? If you're in the city, if you live in the capital, everything seems great. And if you don't live in the capital, it's not so good. So it's Ihiru, who is the main character, one of the main characters, and he's a senior gatherer, and Najiri, who is his apprentice, who comes into apprenticehood at the very beginning of the book. And he is very attached to Ihiru, and they set off together to kind of discover what's going on and what the truth is when they start to learn that things are not what they thought they were. There's one primary female character, Nandi, and she works as like an ambassador from another city, and she thinks their religion is barbaric, and they think her religion is barbaric, even though they are offshoots of each other. So it's a realm of magic. Some people use the magic, some people don't use the magic, and maybe the magic is not that great for everyone anyway. So that's the book. Kind of a summary. I really enjoyed the book. I'm glad I did it as a buddy read, particularly for fantasy. Having the opportunity to talk about it with other people is really helpful, and will help me remember it for longer, because we're probably not going to do the buddy read discussions for the second book until November, because everybody's really busy in October. I really loved the non-toxic masculinity in the book. So almost all the primary characters are male. Like I said, there are a couple of female characters, and they don't get a whole lot of character development, although there is a little bit there. But there's a lot of discussion about what love is, because in this city, under the goddess, helping people through pain and into the afterlife is one of their definitions of love. And the characters come to terms with this idea that maybe love is being with people in their pain, not necessarily getting them out of their pain quickly. So I really love that message because it really goes along with just my own philosophy of life in general. There are a couple of things that I was worried would happen. So, you know, when you're reading a book and you're like, oh, I already know how this is going to end. And if they do this, I'm going to be so irritated with the ending. But that didn't happen. She followed through with, I think, what needed to happen. It wasn't a cheat kind of ending where you're like, oh, she just didn't want to upset people. So I liked the book. I'm glad I read it. I'm really glad I did it as a buddy read. I'm going to try and do more of those. Actually, I have a card game that I made, and one of the prompts is to do a buddy read. So I'm going to try and engage a little bit more with what other people are reading. But that one is in the bag. So that was The Killing Moon by N.K. Jemisin. I don't know anybody who likes sci-fi and has read her. Sci-fi or fantasy that has read her and hasn't liked her. I think she's becoming kind of like a staple, particularly for people who are diversifying their authors and storytelling. So that's her. Read her. All right, Sipsby box. Everybody probably knows by now it's a monthly subscription box of tea. Everybody should also know that I always open it before I share it with you because I usually get it the day before I record, and I almost always try tea. So one of the teas that I got this month, I've been thinking about trying these anyway, so I'm glad that I got some. They're tea drops, and they're a tea patty biscuit, a tea pod. I don't know. It's a little heart-shaped. What is the thing called? You know, it's a tea thing. And you don't have to put it in a steeper or in a little tea bag. So you put it in your cup, you pour the hot water on it, and then it dissolves. And it's tea, so you know that it's not going to dissolve entirely because tea is a leaf, right? It's not something that dissolves, something that bonds with water that way. So I really enjoyed this one. This one is a dessert tea, and it's inspired by a cinnamon roll. Orange cinnamon roll is the flavor. And I really enjoyed it. I drank it cold, which means that by the time I got to the bottom, there's all the sediment in the bottom. I'm thinking the next time I try it, I'm going to try and use a diffuser so that I don't have the grit in the bottom, because I wasn't loving that in my straw. So that one's that one, and it's by Tea Drops. 1 drop per 8 to 12 ounces. High caffeine. Hint of zesty orange. Just pop a drop in your cup with hot water. So that's that. The other one, again, if you've seen these videos I've done before, I always get a chai. I always say I'm going to change my settings. I never do, and then I get another chai. So this one is a dandelion red chai. Roasted carob, rooibos, chicory, dates, dandelion root, cinnamon, ginger, cardamom, sweet blackberry leaves, black pepper, and cloves. That smells, so that sounds super spicy. It's a chai, so obviously it's super spicy. And it really smells really good. So I am someone who tries ginger a lot and never likes it. But I keep trying it, and I actually don't mind it as much in a chai as I do, like I've done other ginger teas and ginger beer, and I don't know why I think I'm gonna love it eventually, but maybe I will love it eventually. That and matcha. I don't know what my deal is with those two things. So that one is caffeine free, which is important to some people because apparently some people are sensitive to caffeine. And that ain't me. Or maybe I've habituated to it. Let's see. This one is a green Yapon. I don't know if that's how you say it. Yapon. I only ever see it written. So it is a medium caffeine, only caffeinated plant native to North America. Clean and refreshing, this green Yapon tastes great hot or cold. It celebrates the tranquility of the Pedernales River. Pedernales River? Medium calf. I might try that one before I head upstairs. Again, I like the hot or cold variety. These I don't love. So some of the teas, especially it seems like green teas, come in this pouch that doesn't seal. So I end up spilling lots of it, and some teas that I've had, I know that it's part tea and part cardboard because I've just poured the rest of the tea from the box straight into the diffuser. So I don't love that. So if you're watching this, Sips by, fix it. 1 teaspoon per 8 ounce. So look how many teaspoons this is going to be if we just held it up with an actual spoon. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to spill this everywhere by the time I get to it. Although I tend to use more than is recommended. And then the last one, I am always so excited when I get a David's tea. So again, I am not sponsored by any of the people, any of the companies whose teas are in this box, or by Sips by at all. So, but I've gotten several David's teas in Sips by boxes over the last 1.5 or 2 years that I've been getting this box. And I've loved every single one of them. They've always been a little bit surprising, which I really enjoy in a box that I'm trying things, like something that doesn't feel like everything else. Although I would say that that's true of most of the things I get in my Sips by box. They aren't things that I would necessarily pick on their own, usually. But there have been times when I've ordered teas that I've tried because I've tried them in the box. So I remember the very first David's tea I got was a turmeric carrot something, and I thought it was gonna be so weird and so not good, and I loved it so much. And I've gotten turmeric tea several times since then because of that box. So anyway, this one is Queen of Tarts. Fruity, tart, and invigorating. Like me. Just kidding. Let's see. So that one is low caffeine. Also, I tend to drink most of my fruity teas iced, because that's how I prefer fruity flavors. Hibiscus, guayusa, marigold, stevia extract, which means that they think it's sweet enough and I'm not going to think so. I didn't get rotund on stevia, I assure you. Fresh, fruity, and invigorating blend has a boost of Ecuadorian guayusa, which provides a great jitter-free energy boost that leaves you focused and alert. We'll see. But I'm excited to try that. I've never been disappointed by David's tea. And when I think about like stopping this box and getting a tea, it's usually, I think, oh, I'll just get some straight from David's. Why do all of this other rigmarole? But I really like trying these different things. Okay, as usual, by the time I do a tea and a book post, I have bought something that I love that I really should have not bought. So this month, that thing is an Igloo cooler. If you want to know why Facebook and Instagram and all of those other things have algorithms, it is because of me. I am the target audience for buying crap I don't need, especially if it says sale on it. So this Igloo cooler, again, not sponsored. Give me money, Igloo, if you want to. Just a regular old cooler. But Maleficent, Diablo, something that says darkness lives forever on the back, in my favorite color pattern, giving you the Beetlejuice vibes. Although, you know, Maleficent and Sleeping Beauty definitely predate Beetlejuice. And the dragon form on the side. I don't think these are buttons. Nope, they're not. I love it so much. It's part of the Igloo Villains series. The other 3 villains were Ursula, which almost won my love. And if they had had Flotsam and Jetsam on the side, I definitely would have gotten that one as well. And I'm actually planning to check and look, because maybe they did and I noticed, but I'm going to check. Ursula. Cruella de Vil, who I just don't care about. And the Igloo. The cooler was boring looking. Like, they were really phoning it in on that one. And the Evil Queen from the from Snow White's story. And she's probably my favorite witch. Ursula's my favorite witch. Who doesn't love, you know, isn't it? It's awesome. But Maleficent always has better stuff. And part of that is because she's got the crow or the blackbird and a dragon form. Like, it would be really hard to screw that up for me. So anyway, that's my stupid purchase for the month. I love it. And I'm excited to use it for things I don't need it for. If I were a braver person, I would just use it as a regular lunchbox all the time, because obviously that is exactly what you would need in your life, a giant igloo cooler. But I'll probably just use it for, like, if we travel or when I go hang out with my squad or whatever. So thanks for hanging out if you're still with me. If you're not, I cannot blame you. But I'll see you in the next one.